What's up, guys? It's Donnie. You guys probably clicked on this video because you are a Christian man and want to increase your relationship with God and or increase your amount of muscle mass. As you can see, I've done that here. So today I'm going to show you guys how I gained 25 pounds of muscle and became a man of God in 120 days without losing my abs. This is me, as you can see, when I was small, skinny, and then this is me now, jacked, I'd like to say. And I kept my abs the whole way through, maintained my aesthetics, and always had a low body fat while building my physique. So we're going to get right into it. I didn't really work hard at anything during my younger years. I kind of just coasted through life, and I really just waited for the next, hang out with my friends or waited for the next video game to drop. I didn't do much that I was proud of. And this obviously led to low confidence, a lack of purpose, low discipline, and a life led by sin and distrust of God, because I was a lukewarm Christian. I'm firm in my faith now, but I was a very lukewarm Christian at that time. I didn't read my Bible. I went to church, but it never really meant anything for me. And I've like to say I turned my life completely around from that. After I implemented the steps in this video, I became a whole new person. This was me, really, really small. And as you can see, that's kind of a before picture there. It's like 6 months into lifting. And now, living my life, I am the happiest I've ever been. I'm the most fulfilled I've ever been, because it's not always about happiness. And I structured my life. My confidence grew. I can tell you guys, after implementing all these things, my confidence is somewhere where I never thought it would be before. That's not confidence out of arrogance. That's confidence in Christ and confidence in my own ability. And I'm not a slave to comfort anymore. I started living how God wanted me to, and I gained a ton of muscle while maintaining my aesthetics. All of these things are what you're going to get from this presentation or YouTube video. This is what you are going to achieve. If you guys are stuck like I was, low confidence, lack of purpose, you guys will find all of those bottom 5 bullet points through doing these things. It's not through listening, it's through doing these things. So we'll hop right in. First, we got to go through who this is for. If you're looking to build massive amounts of muscle while staying lean, this is for you. In my opinion, every man should be in the gym lifting of some sort. You don't always have to be a bodybuilder, but you should be lifting of some sort. I like to be a bodybuilder because I think it looks cool. And if you are ready to live like a man of God and act on his purpose for your life, this is for you. I promise you, implementing these things, you will live like a man that God wants to be giving gifts to, wants to be proud of, wants to do his will. And you will enact on your purpose for his life, because God ultimately has a purpose for everyone. You have a purpose, whether you like it or not. He has given you a certain set of skills and a certain set of interests that he's going to use for his glory. If you want to break out of your constant mediocrity and use your potential to your benefit, this is for you. I can promise you, I was the most average guy you will ever meet. And once I implemented these steps, I'd like to say I'm a rarity. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like I'm actually using my life for a purpose. And all of you have potential in you. I thought I didn't. And after I did all of these things and I started lifting, I started reading my Bible. We'll get into it, but I feel like I'm actually using my potential for good. And I'm not ashamed of who I am. And if you're tired of wasting every day saying, I'll do it tomorrow, this is for you, because this is going to put you in that mindset to do things instead of waiting till the next day, because I would always put things off. I would never get things done. And I would never take a step towards my betterment, my self-betterment. If you're also looking to build your confidence through achieving difficult things, this is for you. Notice it says difficult things. You guys have to achieve difficult things to get a great result. Okay, so put that in your mind right now. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to like this. We're also going to go over who this is not for. This is not for people who are satisfied with their current lifestyle, diet, physique, relationship with God, whatever it may be. If you are satisfied with anything in your life, this is not for you. We always want to break out of our mediocrity. We always want to break out of our current. And that means doing things that we're not very comfortable with, being better, working every single day to become the best version of ourselves. If you want to keep your bad habits that are ruining your confidence, this is not for you. Smoking, drinking, eating junk food, anything of that sort, will not fly. You will not be able to do this program while living with your bad habits. And if you're only looking for motivation while following Jesus, this is not for you. This is a lifestyle. It's not, oh, yippee, let me go follow Jesus and let me become a man again. This isn't a phase. This is not a phase. This is a lifestyle. You're going to continue this for the rest of your life. If you're unwilling to become different from the crowd, this is not for you. As a Christian, it is very important that you are different from the world. You're different from other people. And that not only differentiation not only goes for being a Christian, but also goes for your physique. Me personally, I want to look different from everyone. Nowadays, the standard is low. Standard is so incredibly low. The average American is fatter than the average pig. That's terrible. So the standard's already low. If you're going to the gym 5 times a week, you are going to surpass that standard immensely. And if you're looking for a quick and easy way to change your life, this is not for you. Just click off the video. It's not going to happen. I'm not even going to dive into that point. Now, here's the truth that many people won't tell you. Your physique and your relationship with God are connected. And I can tell you this from personal experience. You can't have one without the other as a Christian. I always like to bring up this 1 Peter verse 4:1. Therefore, since Christ has suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves also with the same purpose, because he who has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Once I started lifting, once I stopped giving in to my desires, once I started structuring myself with bodybuilding, I stopped sinning. I'll be honest with you guys. It just it wasn't in my mind anymore. I didn't even have the chance to sin because I was always diving in with Christ alongside the gym, armoring my mind and putting on the armor of God every single day, to where I didn't even have the chance. I didn't even want to sin anymore. And this is what this is going to do for you guys. If you implement all these steps in this video, it is going to completely transform your relationship with God, because your obedience is going to grow and your muscles are going to grow. But those two, in my opinion, are connected, and I've seen it through my own transformation. Your discipline will equal freedom. Your discipline will be your new freedom. Most guys fail because they separate these two things. Separate their relationship with God and the gym. I'm going to show you guys why you shouldn't do that, or how you shouldn't do that. Most guys don't understand these two principles. The harder you work on your relationship with God, the better your physique gets. The two go hand in hand. Once you work on your relationship with God, you're going to want to work on your physique. Once you work on your physique, you're going to want to work on your relationship with God. It's like a pyramid. The closer you get to God, the closer your physique is going to be to your dream physique. I always like this proverb. Proverbs is filled with wisdom, but this verse is one of my favorites. The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Those who work will get what they want. And that won't be for selfishness, because God only allows you to have what you should have. But it is very important that we are not lazy as Christians, that we are constantly working, because God put us on this earth to do work. He didn't put us here to sit and enjoy. You're supposed to enjoy things that God made, but he didn't put us here to give into our desires. And I can tell you, like scrolling on TikTok, eating junk food, none of that stuff is things God wants you to enjoy. He wants you to enjoy his nature. He wants you to go outside. He wants you to work on your body and make it the best that it can be, because every single day he gives you that body to use as a vehicle to spread the good news. So you should take care of it. And a lot of guys don't understand. You can have abs while putting on muscle. This is me at 6.8% body fat. I got down to 6.8 using the method I'm going to teach you in one of the later slides, while still eating a good amount of calories. I was not in a super deficit. I wasn't in a super surplus, but I was in a surplus. And a lot of guys think you can't put on muscle while maintaining your low body fat and your aesthetics, but I proved that wrong. And if you want the person I just described to be you, I'm going to teach you how to create a bulletproof routine to hit your goals. You obviously need a routine. That's going to be your vehicle to get to your destination. I'm going to teach you how to shred your body fat while maintaining or making steroid-like gains with the method I'm going to teach you in the later slide. How to build your body and mind into a man of God's. I got cut off by the picture a little bit. Sorry about that. And how to maintain low body fat while following the 90-20 rule. That's what I followed for 90% of my training. I'm going to show you guys what that is. In case you didn't know me, I got to give you a backstory so you can understand where I'm coming from and why I'm able to teach you guys these things. So I grew up behind my peers in almost every aspect. Everyone was bigger than me. Everyone was stronger than me. I played baseball, as you guys can see from that picture, and I sucked at baseball because I was small and weak. Besides my grades, I wasn't good at anything, you could say. So I got cut from the baseball team, and that was really the turning point. That's what set it in stone that I needed to make a change, because I didn't have anything at that point. Baseball was what I did. Like, that was the only thing I had outside of school, and I don't think I even had a job at that point. I did have a job, but that's the only thing I did outside of school. So I started getting in the gym. As you guys can see, I started lifting a little bit. I progressed physically, but not spiritually or mentally. You know, I had muscles, but what was it worth? If a man gains the whole world but loses his soul, what's it worth? So I didn't pick up my Bible for a while. Like I said, I was lukewarm, and my mental was being progressed in the sense of discipline, in the sense of forcing myself to do things that I didn't want to do in the gym, but it didn't really develop outside of that. I realized that lifting would get me nowhere without an unbreakable mindset and a relationship with God, because I was stagnant. I still had the same feeling of when I wasn't in the gym, I still had the same feeling of just, what am I doing with my life? That kind of feeling. And everything that I'm about to show you broke me out of that and allowed me to see things in a new light. And obviously working on my relationship with God, that's what brought me my real peace. Everything else is just attached to it that makes it even better, but that is the centerpiece. I developed my habits and my mindset. I created the person I wanted to be. A lot of guys aren't who they want to be because they don't go out and get it. They don't go out and do the hard things because they don't have the discipline, they don't have the drive, and they don't have the uncomfortableness to do it. I made myself uncomfortable to force change. That's one of my secret key ingredients. You have to force yourself to do things and make yourself uncomfortable, because if you're comfortable, you're not going to want to change. So all I did throughout my training and my years, I just made myself as uncomfortable as possible. And so many people kept asking me for advice. I decided to break it all down for you guys. The MOG method. This is what I used. Oh, my camera's being weird. This is what I used as my system. I built it through my own trial and error. There's a lot of perfecting, a lot of time that went into this, 3 years to be exact, to build who I am today. And I'm going to fast track that for you guys, because I'm about to give it to you all. If you guys follow all of this, you could be who I was 3 years ago in a year. Sorry, you could be who I am now, which took 3 years, and you could make yourself into that person in a year, because I'm going to give you every single part of it. In the following steps, I'll outline the entire process, A to Z, of what I did to accomplish these results, so you can use the MOG method to change your life for the better. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you to implement this process to actually change your life. If you guys aren't actually implementing it, you're not going to change your life. These are the stages. We got the builder stage, foundation, temple, and I'll throw in the bonus, which is the training. And that one's gonna be good. So make sure you guys stay for that. But we're gonna go through all these. First, I'm gonna show you how I optimize each stage and turn my life around for the better, so I can pursue God how He intends. Now that I am actually living how God wants me to live, I feel so much better. Like, the mental that I went through to get to this point, I am high on life, as you could call it, but it is really amazing. I want you guys to see that. So first, the builder stage. Like I showed you, you're going to have the Bible reading plan. I used to think going to church was good enough. As I said, I was lukewarm. I didn't really see an intention of spending time with God outside of church, because my parents took me to church every Sunday, but I didn't really pay attention. I kind of just zoned out during church, I guess you could say. But I thought it was good enough. I thought, I go to church, I'm getting into heaven. It's cool. And I always felt stuck. I never felt like my relationship was growing. I knew there was something greater that I had to be doing. I couldn't just go to church, not pay attention. Like, I was believing in this thing, but I didn't actually know why. I was just told to believe in it. So I dug into the why. And that's when I started feeling stuck. But I intentionally spent time with God, and I didn't see it as a chore, but I intentionally spent time with Him. And that's when things started changing. That's when I started growing into my shell, I guess you could say. But I didn't see this as a chore. I read at least one chapter a night of the Bible, and I made sure it wasn't just something to check off my box. I made sure it was something that I actually wanted to do. And yes, at some point you have to force yourself to read your Bible, because you're not always going to want to read it, but you shouldn't see it that way in your mind. You should see it as an opportunity to get to know the creator of the universe. But you shouldn't just read your Bible. You should absorb your Bible. This is one thing that I did for a while that I wish I could take back because I would have made so much more progress. But you need to read, you need to absorb your Bible instead of just read it. You also need to recreate your mindset. My old mindset was dopamine, comfort, candy, junk, video games. It was dopamine fixated. If you guys don't know what dopamine is, that happy chemical in your brain that rings when you watch a short form video and you got all this stuff flashing in your face. The real dopamine comes from doing 30 minutes on the Stairmaster, comes from hiking up a mountain, comes from running in the rain. This stuff is what comes from dopamine, or this is the stuff that produces dopamine. It's real dopamine. It's the dopamine that God intended for you, not all this man-made stuff that's just flashing in your face and it makes you feel a certain way. But I found difficulty doing the simplest things. And that's when I knew I needed something to change, because I couldn't even do chores. I couldn't read a book. I couldn't have a conversation with people without going on my phone. But it takes time. It takes time to recreate your mindset. Hopefully with this presentation, you guys can fast track it, but every little step is going to make the difference. So you guys need to remember that. Now I'm thriving in any situation, any condition, because I've trained my mind hard enough to where I can hit any challenge with ease. I can hit any challenge with ease because all I've done is just build my mindset, callous my mind, callous it to be able to withstand any challenge. Implement videos and books and personal challenges into your daily routine to create your mindset. You can't just do one thing a week and call it good. If you only work out on Sunday, you're not going to build as much muscle as you could if you worked out 5 days a week. Hope you guys get that reference. Build your mind. And the bodybuilder starting pack. All I wanted was to put on muscle. As you can see, I was super skinny. Everyone else in my class was stronger than me. I could see it when I went to my PE class. We were lifting weights. I couldn't do like any weight. So I stayed very small when I first started out. And you don't need some elaborate plan. You just need to get in the gym. That is what I decided. I was trying to make all these plans and have all these workout routines. You don't need that. You just need to get in the gym. Whatever you can do, start lifting. Just do some curls. Like whatever you need to do to just get in there first, that is the first step. You don't need to pick a direction like this guy down on the right. You don't need to pick a direction. You just need to go. Then later down the road, you can figure out a plan. But it doesn't matter if you switch to a different type of training. You just need muscle. And that is what I like to say. As long as you have muscle, you can perform any other task. So first, you need to set your protein goal, set your split, and set your exercises, and set a consistent schedule. Once you're in the gym for a few days, then you can start doing these things. But it all just snowballs together. It all snowballs together. Once you do one thing, you want to do the other things. You want to do the other things, and then you'll pop out with a nice physique, just like the one I had in the beginning. Now, the foundation stage. This is stage 2. You guys need to implement all of those things it took me about a year, but you guys can implement those for about 3 months, see where you're at after that, and then you'll probably be ready to move on to the foundation stage, the habit foundation, where I had the mindset of why I should be better, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to get there. I knew I had to, be able to communicate with people, be able to callous my mind, be able to run, lift, whatever it was. I knew I needed to do those things, but I didn't know how. I knew I needed to be a better person, but how? And my physique reflected this, as well as my mental well-being. I wasn't where I wanted to be mentally. Honestly, I was a little bit depressed. I don't like to believe in depression, but I was a little bit depressed. Most of the days I woke up, I felt like, I was lifting, I was doing all these things, but what was my life outside of that? What was the point? So I started implementing systems and non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, things that you need to do every single day. They're on my whiteboard right back there. Something popped up. Whoops. You need to implement non-negotiables, things that you need to do no matter what before the day ends, because those are going to be things that push you to be the best version of you. And systems, whatever you need as a system. I had stuff that I did before I went to the gym. I had stuff that I did before I started getting into my work sessions like I am now. I had stuff that I did before reading books, reading my Bible. I mean, whatever systems that you need to implement to tell your brain, hey, it's time to do this thing or this thing, implement those. Now I deny instant gratification and I instead choose delayed gratification. As I was talking about in the beginning, The things that actually cause dopamine is accomplishing things. It's not sitting on your phone and watching videos for an hour. It's accomplishing things. That is how you're going to get real, raw dopamine. Non-negotiables should be in your daily routine no matter what, because when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you better do it. And this is a way, if you just label it a non-negotiable, you could say, I'm going to read 20 pages today. Okay, and then the day comes and you don't, 20 pages in my Bible. The end of the day comes and you're not doing it. Or you say, one of my non-negotiables is reading 20 pages in my Bible. Then you say, well, it's a non-negotiable. I have to do it. I have no other choice but to do it because I labeled it a non-negotiable. Like, it has to get done before bed. And that's how I tricked myself into doing things that I didn't want to do. And that's how I actually progressed. That's how I got stuff done. And this slide will tie into your training, because without the habits, you're not going to be able to create the physique that you want. I lifted for many years without actually making progress because I wasn't who I wanted to be outside of the gym, and that reflected. You're also going to have the physique and training foundation here. During the first year of my training, I went to the gym and I didn't really have a plan. I kind of just went in there and lifted. Like I talked about, you guys just need to get in the gym, but that's only for the first, maybe at max, a month. Then you need to start creating a plan. And my physique and lifts plateaued, and I saw less and less results. This was probably like 6 months apart. And if you guys, maybe you guys have lifted, maybe you haven't, but this is like no progress for 6 months. I get it's not the same picture, not the same lighting. It's like this. I was the same. I was basically the same. And that should not happen after 6 months. So once I created a specific plan, i.e. workout split and exercises, by analyzing my physique, then I was able to progressively overload, and then I was able to make progress. I saw I was very weak in the chest. I was very weak in my arms. So I started creating plans that heavily focused on those things. The reason I talked about getting in the gym first and just lifting before making a detailed plan is because you need to see where your weak points are. I had really good legs. I didn't need to work out legs a whole lot because my legs just naturally got bigger. But I need to focus on my upper body and my arms way, way more, and that is what I did. Now I break through plateaus whenever I experience one, and my progress has exploded. I'm telling you guys, I make more progress in 3 months than it feels like other people make in 6 months. Maybe that's due to my habits and my foundation and everything that I'm doing outside of the gym, but it all compounds. So make a plan, stick to it for 8 weeks, and adjust. Maybe you need more than 8 weeks. Maybe you don't. Maybe you need less than 8. You probably don't need less than 8 weeks, but stick to a plan. So many guys can't stick to a plan. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you hop on a plan for 2 weeks and then you're like, shoot, this isn't working. And then you go back, you make a new one. Obviously it wasn't working. You made 2 weeks of progress. That's like nothing. This is a long, long time game. Next, the temple stage. This is where you're really going to start diving into the person that you are supposed to be. This is like the new you stage. People will start to not be able to recognize you once you get into this stage. You need to become comfortable in your faith. Yes, I read my Bible and I knew it, but I wasn't comfortable talking about it to other people. I couldn't answer questions. I couldn't tell you why I believed what I believe. All I knew is just stories in the Bible, how to apply them to my life, and how it was related. So whenever people would ask me certain questions about Christianity, I would just stumble over. I wouldn't really have anything to say. I couldn't really tell you why this was this way, why this was this way. And it all comes through time. But it's like you build your faith like you build your physique. It takes time, but the more you work it out and the better you work it out, the more progress you'll make. Watching YouTube videos or taking part in Bible studies can help you. This is me at a Bible study. I have a lot going while I'm at college this semester. These are all Bible studies that I've done. But these have really helped me strengthen my faith, because if you find a group of people, especially a group of guys, that have the same mindset as you, have the same goals as you, and have the same faith as you, then you are going to make a lot of progress, because you guys can converse and talk about different topics. And it really, I want to credit that to a lot of my faith growth, because having these Bible studies really, really has helped me in my faith. After this, I was able to explain my faith and so much about it. I understood it on a deeper level. So dig into questions and have a willingness to learn, because God is always there. You just need to knock and he will answer. Also, during this stage, you are going to have consistent discipline and development. By this time, you should have a foundation in the gym. You should have a foundation of your habits. You should be constantly going through your day thinking about how I can improve myself and how I need to deny my desires and do what's right for me. By this stage, you should be able to control your mind. Excuse me. You should be able to control your mind and understand what decisions you make, why you make them, and how to go about them in a way that favors your future self. Just like you developed yourself to this point, you should be able to carry it on. This is like this part of the journey right here before you become someone you really, really like and a completely different person. But first, these are the beginning stages. It's really hard, kind of starts to level out, but you're going to have these bumps in here where you're going to have to fight for it, because building yourself is a constant development and discipline. It's very, very constant because there's always new challenges. And there's always ways you can become better. So you're always trying to build a different person. Like me right now, I'm going to be nothing compared to the person I am in 2 years. It's just a constant development. I saw my own development and I would do it all over again. Let me tell you, if I was still this kid right here and I still had the same mindset, the same physique, same goals, I'd be in a very bad spot. Same as this kid right here. I would be in a very, very bad spot. But I feel better knowing I'm developing myself to the fullest extent, because I feel like that is the purpose of man. I mean, if you're not developing yourself in some sort of way, what is the point? You have nothing to work towards. You have nothing to do. You have nothing to accomplish. You're going to live a sad, sad life. This is what I was doing when I was in these stages right here. Before I implemented anything in this video, I had nothing to look forward to, nothing to accomplish. Maybe I had a career ahead of me, but that wouldn't make me feel good. But once I started developing myself, that's when I started understanding and fulfilling myself. And of course, the training, pay attention to these. I'm dropping all of this information for you for free. This is amazing, amazing information, because it is what brought me down to 6.8% body fat. A lot of people can't say they've been there. I was lean, felt good, but I was lean. So I was gaining muscle, but I was also gaining quite a bit of fat from bulking. I don't have a picture of that up here, but I was getting a little chunky. So I wanted to stay lean, but I didn't want to lose my strength and my muscle. And that's when I started implementing fasted morning cardio. You guys paying attention? Fasted morning cardio allowed me to eat normal while staying lean. I could follow the 90-10 rule. I'm about to explain what that is. But that fasted morning cardio, because your body uses your carbs as you sleep. Once you get up and start doing cardio, specifically stage 2 cardio, zone 2 cardio, put your heart rate in that zone 2, which you can just look up what your zone 2 cardio is. It's just a quick Google search. Once you're in that zone 2 cardio, that is what helped me absolutely melt the fat off. I mean, 6.8% body fat, that's extremely low. Like, you guys might not understand that, but that is extremely low, especially for the amount of muscle mass that I had. So this helped me gain strength. I was still gaining strength in the gym. I was still gaining muscle. I was still eating how I wanted to, but I was melting off that body fat. And it was hard. It sucked, but it was worth it. I wouldn't take back any of it. I wouldn't take back every single morning run that I did, because it built me who I am, and it made that physique that I have now. If you guys haven't done it yet, you need to. That 90-10 rule, some people call it the 80-20 rule. That's not what we call it over here. We're not trying to be average, but I still like to enjoy my treats, still like to enjoy my food. So this 90-10 rule, 90% of your diet should be low ingredient, whole foods that are healthy. 10% can kind of be on that iffy line. Sometimes I would throw in, like a little, not a whole candy bar, but like a few squares of chocolate. Sometimes I would throw in a little bit of ice cream. I would throw in little things, but because I was doing this fasted cardio, it allowed me to eat those things without negatively impacting my physique. But notice 90% to 10%, 90% of the things you eat are going to be good foods, not junk. Good foods. This 10% shouldn't even be junk. It should just be mildly unhealthy things. I would even put a protein shake in the 10 rule, because it has so many ingredients, but it's still somewhat good for you. But follow that 90-10 rule, and you are going to clear your mind, basically. I mean, my mind felt like it was open once I followed that, but we'll go on to that on the next slide. Now I gained strength in the gym while having abs year round. I can tell you guys, I've never had stomach fat since then. All the time I have abs and I'm lean. I mean, you can see all my back muscles here, and my veins are sticking out. It feels really nice to be lean while still gaining muscle. So in general, eat good, morning fasted cardio, stage 2, Get some water, get some sun, fresh air, and sleep. All these things are made by God. That is why they're so good. Water's made by God. The sun, I mean, don't get sunburned, but you need sun in your day. Get fresh air and sleep. So many people forget sleep. This was really my secret weapon because no one else would sleep. I was like, guys, I'm getting over 8 hours of sleep. Now I don't get that much because it's not needed, but no one likes to sleep, and it just boggles my mind because this is where muscle is actually grown. Most of your muscle is grown during sleep. You guys need to sleep. I know you watching this right now, you're probably running on 5 hours of sleep. Not good enough. Get at least 7.5. Don't get more than 9. I made a whole video about that, so go watch it if you haven't. How to use the 90-10 rule. So my diet used to consist of protein, but it was also processed junk, processed foods. I mean, I would eat burgers and pizza and all this stuff that I thought was good protein. It's not. It's just processed junk. Eat lean ground beef. This is probably like 93.7, something along those lines. Eat single ingredient foods. Like I had salmon here, vegetables, chicken and rice, vegetables, milk. After that, after I started eating single ingredient foods, don't mind the cornbread, I'll get into that in a second, and this stuff, I'll get into that in a second. I felt like I was performing at 100%. Before, I never felt like I was performing at 100%. My mind is so clear now that I cut out all the junk that it feels like it's opened. It feels like I can finally function because all those ingredients, all the processed stuff just clouds your mind. God created food. Man did not. So look to God, what he created. I still like to enjoy my treats, obviously. So I allow 10% of my diet. I already explained that to you guys. 10% of your diet should come from, or it can be not so healthy things. So like these pancakes, I would put in the 10%. But when you're going out to eat, I could have got something like this where it's just a huge sugary pancake, but I chose the kind of more lean option. I chose eggs as my side and bacon as my side. And bacon's not the most healthy, eggs are, but that is the balance you need to find. This is a treat when I was going out. This is a treat right here. Treating myself to something as pancakes. Some people, that's their normal daily meal. You guys need to reshape how you think of food. Stuff like this should be a treat. Stuff like soda should be a treat. Stuff like ice cream should be a treat. It's not a snack. It is a treat. Treat means maybe once a week, maybe once a month. I probably only have soda once a week. That's because it's readily available. But if I was not at college, I wouldn't be drinking soda at all. I would only do it on a special occasion, like when I go out. Stuff like cornbread, I would also put in that 10%. It tastes good. I put some honey on it, which is good for you. But this is mainly consisted of those single ingredient foods. And this is a big thing. How my training separated me, no one trained like I did. I'm not saying that out of arrogance, but you guys can see it in my face. No one trained as intense as I did in my gym. I started out doing 4x12, all that normal, just basic stuff, but I made progress, nothing like I wanted. Once I dug into it and I learned more about how to train, how to actually lift, then I started making insane gains once I started training like I was insane. You guys can see I'm pushing myself as hard as I can go. I don't even think I got this rep, but I went for it. Veins popping. I would make weird faces because I'm using my muscles to their fullest extent. Same thing down here. You need to train insane and train intense like you have nowhere else to go. Training insane is what brought me my gains. I will credit it to that. And I saw more progress in a year than some see in 2. Once you actually use your intensity, maximum intensity, you guys will see enormous gains. Use moderate volume. Don't do this 4x12 stuff. 3 sets max if you're maybe not going to maximum intensity. I like to do 2 sets of maximum intensity, and that is how I basically built my physique. You want to know what happened when I implemented each stage? All the stages you guys just saw. You want to know what happened? I couldn't help but improve my physique, my relationship with God, and my confidence in my day-to-day life. I became a whole new person. Like if you ask someone that saw me a few years ago who I am now, like they saw me now, they wouldn't even think it's me. Throughout this whole process, I was able to chase God and build my physique while staying lean. I couldn't see it any other way. That is the best way to build yourself, is those 3 things right there. Chase God, build your physique, stay lean. And that's exactly what I want each and every one of you to do. I don't want you, if you made it through this presentation, you're 35 minutes in, you're obviously on the right track. You just need to go and implement it. And that's what I want you to do. I want you guys to be better. I don't want you to chase comfort. I don't want you to be a slave to anything. I want you to be better. But this isn't a one-time change. This is constant, constantly every single day. And for every single day for the rest of your life, you are going to become better. If you can become 1% better every single day, you can become 37 times better in a year. Think about that. Just 1% a day can make you 37 times better in a year. That's insane. You can make so much progress. I finally know what I'm capable of, and I will never resort to my old ways. I will never go back to the person I was, because this life is the life I choose, because it is so much better. And now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you guys. If you're low confidence, inconsistent, and stagnant in your relationship with God, and you're wanting to live how God intends, but you don't know how, or you're ready to build a physique and mindset you're proud of, you don't know how, or you're ready to become a whole new person, but you don't know how. You watch this whole video, you know the steps, you just don't know how to implement them on your own. I will work with you one-on-one to gain 15 pounds of muscle while keeping your abs and living a life dedicated to God in 120 days. Just DM me, or you can DM me on Instagram, or you can book a call with the link in this description. I'll work with you guys specifically, deal with your specific problems. But if you're not interested in that, I want you guys to implement this process. Everything you saw in the video. I mean, this is so much value that I'm giving away that you guys, if you made it this far and you don't implement this, it's kind of a waste of your time. It's not even a waste of my time at that point, because you saw everything and you know exactly how to become a whole new person, but you don't do it. That's kind of on you. I can't do anything for you at that point, unless you book a call, we can get to work. But yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube, I'm gonna be dropping value like this all the time. Mindset stuff, lifting stuff, whatever it is. Make sure you not follow, because this is Instagram, or this is YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, because I will be dropping insane value, and I want you guys to improve your lives to the best of your ability, to the fullest of your extent, just like I did. Because now, seeing the man I am now, I would never want anyone to be like I was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I would never want anyone to be in that position. I am so fulfilled with chasing God. I am so fulfilled by enacting my purpose with Christ. I would never go back. That's all I got for you guys today. If you stayed, thank you. You're awesome. Implement all these things, and we'll see you guys in the next one.